a sheep stick, and I kind of just figured, well, I'm right here now. I might as well pick up this acolyte staff. It'll help me with it'll pretty much solve my mana problems for the rest of the game. And yeah, it's convenient because then the next time I'm back in the base, I'm farming pretty well, getting a lot of kills, etc. So I figure I should have the sheep stick finished probably within 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, here is Kronos going on Sand Wraith, very far out with his great items. Yeah. So there's that. Sandwraith ults actually now, and I see blue with stuff up here, so I just kind of need to get the fighting as soon as possible, trying to figure out whether I need to teleport top or mid. Eventually end up teleporting mid because it seems like everything's kind of coalescing into there. And I'll finish talking about my poor item choices in a second after this. So Voodoo Jester runs out of position, at least as far as my being here. And for some reason, I kind of think I have more teammates left, which is the reason why I keep chasing here, when in fact I really should not be. Yeah, see there, perfect time for the bounce to hit me, because I got poison sprayed. Or I was going to poison spray right as the bounce hit me, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, I had switched my boots to agility, but I switched them back now because I realized I'm going to have to tank a lot of damage here. Going to run in between where the heroes are to try to get the most effective ult off as possible. So I hit all three of them with the ult, but obviously the ult can't kill people by itself. So I need to make sure to get toxicity up on the heroes that I think I'll be able to kill as well. So I hit the two lower HP heroes with an auto attack, so the toxicity combined with my ult will finish them off. Yeah, definitely shouldn't have chased as far as I did there. I mean, bad timing on the poison spray. Probably should have poison sprayed a little bit sooner before that stun hit me. Yeah, shouldn't have gone so far. I'll talk about what I'm typing in a second. And also, I kind of thought that my teammates, I guess, had killed more of them, so that there was like maybe one more left in addition to the Voodoo Jester, and I would have been fine, but there was actually a lot left. My teammates had killed basically no one and just died. So that's so good. Okay, so back on hand, I should definitely get an Ultimate Orb instead of getting the Acolyte Staff first, just because, I mean, the stats are just so much more relevant. I don't need that much intelligence, and I definitely do need agility, health, etc. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, someone at the door. Anyway, so yeah, more health, more mana, more damage, pretty much just more better. So would have certainly been ideal to get that first. And yeah, that was kind of bad. Here I actually screw up a bunch. I'm kind of watching the fight and didn't realize that I'd run so far forward. This is my second huge mistake. I thought I was actually not as far up as I was. Like, I thought I just hadn't gotten there in time. I don't know why I made that mistake. But so my positioning in this fight is really just not very good, which is, of course, going to lead to me dying. Yeah, so that was really bad, actually. That was what I consider my second huge mistake of this. Sorry, I kind of didn't get to talk about that in time. Yeah, here Kronos has lifesteal, so it makes sense for him to ult and keep attacking, except he attacks Sandwraith, who returns damage, rather than Iglesias, who doesn't. So probably not the best decision-making process there. Yeah, Witch Slayer definitely going to go down here. Hag should be able to get out, though. Yep. So yeah, those are my two huge mistakes. Buying this, well, the order in which I bought this item and just buying it in general. What I should have bought instead, I believe, is a Nullstone. Nullstone would have been great because I'm kind of going for a defensive build, with the Helm of the Black Legion, treads, etc., or power steam boots. Sorry. So the defensiveness of a Nullstone would certainly be nice, and it just stops a lot of things. First of all, it prevents the Sandwraith ult from getting on me. It stops Deadwood's punch. I know it's kind of easy for Deadwood to throw his tree first, but still not that. I mean, it's still just effective. I don't think Deadwood's going to be punching me most of the time anyway. Yeah, Hag just kind of sitting there to die, basically, doing what this guy does for no real reason. Yeah, so he's dead, and more teammates are now going to die as well. I don't really know what they're doing up there, and I don't know why I'm still running up there. I should actually just be turning around right now. Which is what I'm doing. So, yeah, his text. This is the point in the game where we still need to have been pushing, and we're basically just at the point where we've essentially given up the game because we just haven't pushed enough. We still have all our towers obviously up, but we haven't taken near enough towers. We haven't put near enough pressure on them. We've let Sandwraith farm too much, and it's basically because of stuff like that. So now that they're dead, we have to wait at least another 30 seconds before we can go do anything. And then they're going to have to get back here, and that's even if he does come push, etc. So we're just really not pressuring them enough, and stupid stuff like that is kind of a big part of it. Here I see my teammates fighting bubbles. Unfortunately, I'm dragging the creep wave, which is really not good. So I'm actually going to get myself way out of position, and they're going to see me. Yeah, which is exactly what I do. Yeah, going to throw out my ult, hopefully, before dying, and try to get some dots up on people. Yeah, just kind of doing as much damage as I can before going down. At least helping Kronos kill the Deadwood, which is good. But unfortunately, Sandwraith is going to get more kills. Nice wall there, but either the pathing didn't work out for him where he ran into the trees, or he was just clicked in the wrong direction anyway. Here comes Hag back, but it's just, yeah, it's not a good spot anymore. Sandwraith should have his relic soon. Hag, instead of actually going mid, goes to farm bottom, which actually this time is fine because there's not really anything else to do. But yeah, so Nullstone just would have stopped a lot of things. It would have been an effective item, and I think it would have been better than going for Hex. Although, I mean, Hex is good, and I thought I would get it sooner than I did, which makes it such a strong item, but unfortunately that's kind of not how things turned out, because the game started to turn, as they kind of should, because of the point at which Sandwraith just becomes a more effective hero. Yeah, and so the other problem that I'm kind of pointing out in chat now is blue. I mean, yeah. I mean, you've seen his text. I don't really need to explain that one very thoroughly. You kind of know what this guy's like, which is basically and so the reason why I was actually very happy to get to cast this game is because it does two things very well. First, it's actually like a reasonably balanced game for most of the time. Although at this point, it's like even I, while playing the game, knew it's pretty unlikely we win at this point because of these two things and because of Sandwraith. And so, but it also perfectly emphasizes why I don't normally get good games, because this is how most games go. The team without, and I'm not saying this to be racist, but the team without the Brazilian usually wins. Yeah. So this game kind of emphasizes that with the blue factor, and I'm not sure about purple being Brazilian or anything, but he's just yeah. So this is basically the epitome of matchmaking, kind of in a nutshell. Purple, on the other hand, I don't know what his gold per minute is at this point, but when the game ends, his gold per minute will be, I believe, 200, which is not so good. He, as pointed out, was actually, and now he's not, but he was the same level as their Glacius. He has absolutely no farm, and on top of that, he thinks, it seems, that he has a ton of farm or something, to the point that he can just Rambo people next to their base in his ult and kill them. So his decision-making process isn't very good. Yeah, here he's getting caught by them again. I go to help him, Sandwraith ults, and this means they'll see me coming up, and I'm sure he's dead anyway, so there's not really any point in me going up there. Yeah, so this game, I guess, isn't lost yet, but if I had to predict why we were going to lose, I would talk about a couple different things. The first would be kind of losing more than we should in the laning phase. So, whenever a team has Sandwraith, I mean, people like to say that it's 4 versus 5 for the first 30 minutes, something like that, and that's not completely untrue. Like, our tri-lane really shouldn't lose. Like, I don't necessarily mean it has to win, per se. Yeah, anyway, here we're going to kind of go on the Voodoo Jester. He is out of position. Even though there's a chance we're getting baited, we should be able to kill him quickly enough with how far up he was before anything bad happens to us, which we do. So now we really actually just need to push mid. They've got one down. So yeah, that's exactly what we should be doing, pushing mid. Unfortunately, we don't have Chronos, which is kind of bad, but he should be here soon enough. Hopefully he can teleport to the middle tower, and yeah, we can go on in mid. So I guess I'll get back to talking about why it would be that we're going to lose this game if we lose. Foreshadowing. After this, Purple's actually not coming, though. Now he finally is. He just kind of sat in base for a while, and unfortunately did not teleport mid either, so this is just poor management. It's poor time management, because I mean, I understand, alright, maybe his farm's so terrible he can't even afford to teleport, but now we can't push, because now Voodoo Jester's back up, and now we're going to try to push into a Sandwraith ult and Deadwood, and like, these are just things we're not going to really be able to do. So intelligently enough, our support is actually going to go ward their jungle, which should help us maybe pick someone off that comes in here. So this is actually not a bad thing to have to do, or not a bad thing to do. Yeah, we can see actually Voodoo Jester coming up here to ward. And fortunately our ward spotted that, so we're able to kill him quickly, and then kind of trying to spread back out, but here comes the Deadwood. So should be able to fight, hit 3 in the ult. Yeah, Bubble should definitely die, he has dots on him. Unfortunately Sandwraith's ult comes in, and he's just going to kind of wreck face. So yeah, basically yeah, so he has his Mach now, before 30 minutes, which is pretty good timing, and yeah, my GG is coming out. Chronos, like, yeah, he's got this. He has definitely got this. So, like I was saying, I mean, it's probably pretty obvious to a lot of people why we didn't win, but So first of all, not winning the laning phase. Our tri lane, even though we were in their short lane, should still probably have beat their tri lane, even with Chronos. Although that's certainly why we should have had Madman or Puppet instead, just to have a stronger tri lane to guarantee we beat their tri lane. Second of all, um, purple and blue, like both of them kind of just playing. I mean, I'm not saying that I played amazingly, but just this kind of the stuff they do, it's just I don't know, beyond silly, and it's just kind of the stuff you laugh at. Uh, yeah, which is kind of my complaints in chat here. I occasionally complain, probably more than I should in chat, but this game was just really frustrating because their strategy was pretty transparent. We had reasonable counters to it. People kind of failed a little bit in the picking phase, and then failed more in the execution phase. And yeah, and then I failed too. I mean, if I had a null stone, maybe I survive a lot better in the mid game, and I'm able to just output more damage. Like with how much I dominated my lane early on and then had a pretty good score, I really should have had been a larger factor than I was in the mid game, which was also a problem. Unfortunately, like this, when my teammates are always getting picked off, it does kind of become difficult to actually to be that much of a force in the game when you don't have teammates to fight with, because I can't really just go around soloing their team. But yeah, of course, I still have not even finished my hex, which at this point is kind of a moot point. I don't mean to say point twice in a row, but yeah. Um, so yeah, that's kind of not good. Again, terrible item choice, especially picking up the Acolyte Staff first, because who knows what that Ultimate Orb would have done differently. At this point, I'm definitely just taking CS from Chronos. Like earlier, I actually felt